Okay, so today we're going to be replacing a radio out of a 2002 Subaru Forester. So what we're going to be doing is taking out the stock factory radio, putting it in a newer model Kenwood, which I'll show you here in a minute. So to get us started, what we're going to want to do is, first of all, we're going to have to take out some trim. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate this middle console back, and that's going to expose these two knobs here. And that's really simple. You just want to pop off these decorative caps, and you're going to expose some the Phillips head screws below them. So here you can see the Phillips screws. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop out those screws. That's the first step to first start with this trim. So now that we've got these trim screws out, this whole piece will come out. What you have to do first is just raise the parking brake just slightly, and what we're going to then do is this should just very easily pop out. So this piece should come out rather easily. It just kind of comes up, pivots out from the back part here. It's just going to come up. And you're just going to lift this up out over the parking brake. You just lift that up, and we're just going to set that off to the side. So then what that exposes, this decorative piece here that's around the gear shift. What I'd recommend is having your ignition key in the ignition, because it's helpful to be able to move the gear shift slightly so that you can actually maneuver things around. You're going to want to be able to maneuver this gear shift forward and backwards to be able to maneuver these pieces of trim out. So what I'm going to do is just going to turn the ignition on, just to an on position, so you hear that dinging of the ignition. This basically comes up very easily. All you do is you just reach underneath it, and you're just going to pop it up. There's going to be two kind of tabs on either side that are going to want to hold it down in place. All you're going to do is just pop this up, and it just comes up very easily. Here's where maneuvering the gear shift back is going to be helpful. So I'm just going to shift it down and allow me to maneuver this out a little bit easier. And I'm just going to set that off to the side. Don't forget to put it back in the park. So now we're into this main trim piece console, and essentially now what we want to do is remove this decorative piece that's around the console. This also is held on clips on either side, here, and there's two on the top. So what you're going to do is, again, just pry this out very gently. Starting, what I would also recommend doing is taking out this cigarette piece. You can just set that off to the side, and then this is just going to come out somewhat easily. You're just going to kind of grab it and just kind of pry it out, and it should just come off nicely. You're going to then again, here it's nice to get the gear shift out of your way. So it's just going to come out. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to detach. I always like to put it back in the park just for safety reasons. You're going to have a few things to detach here. You're going to have this clip here. You're going to have the cigarette lighter, and then there's just a simple clip here that's going to come off. That it's just a pressure switch or a pressure latch that you're just going to release. So now all three of those, you can now set this off to the side. So now we're ready to really take out the radio, and there's four screws. There's two here, and there's two over here, and basically we're just going to take those out with a Phillips, and those will come out nicely. Just save those screws for someplace easy to find. Okay, so I've got the four screws out on either side of the radio. radio is now just going to come very nicely out, very simply and very easily. It's just going to come out. For this step, I don't actually need to move the gear shift, although it's a pretty tight fit. But what I'm going to do is just kind of hold it off to the side. And there's a couple things you're going to want to do. You're going to have to detach the very first cable you're going to come across is that's going to give you the most tension is going to be the antenna. So you're just going to very simply pull that straight out. That just comes out very easily. And then the major thing that needs to be disconnected is the main junction with the radio. You're just going to have to use a pressure, push down the pressure clip that's holding it into the radio, and you're just going to work it out. And then there's a ground over here that you're going to want to just unclip as well, and that's another pressure clip on the top. That'll release that, and basically now your whole radio comes out. Here's where that main junction comes in. There's the neutral ground over here, and the radio antenna feeds right into there, which we've already disconnected. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire unit into my workshop area to slip out this old unit and put in my newer Kenwood that I'm going to be installing. So we're going to go down to my workshop now. Alright, so now I'm back in my workshop now. Now I've taken out the unit here, and this is where we left off from the car. You can see this is the back part of the factory radio. This is what it looks like from the front. I'm actually only going to be replacing this part here. I'm actually going to leave this CD player. It'll be, not active basically, but at least there won't be this gaping hole here that you'll see when it gets reinstalled. So my new CD player, my new radio, actually has a DVD CD player right up here, and so I'm just going to be basically replacing this part, and I'm going to be putting it into here. So you're going to need a couple things. One is the Kenwood radio that I bought. Actually, most radios are going to come with a harness. However, it has to hook up to something. It has to hook up to something that matches your car. So what you're going to have to do is find a kit. This is very inexpensive. This cost me about $20. Just go to your local radio install. Basically go to I went to a Best Buy to get a install kit that the installers would actually use. This is basically what I got. So it has the connector that has to go into your to match up with the connector in your car harness that matches your car. So I bought one for a Subaru. This is a 2002 Subaru. So I've got that. What I need to do now is I have to hook all these wires together, and your radio is going to have the wiring diagram to help you do that. So I'm going to hook all these together, and then we'll continue with the installation. Alright, so what you can see here is I've got basically all the connections made. I've mated the kit connector with the one that comes from the factory. So basically we've got a nice big mess here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little electrical tape around the whole thing and just kind of secure it together, so when I put it in the car that it just stays together and doesn't come apart. Alright, well, I've got the harnesses basically ready. All I need to do now is swap out the old unit for the new, and the new unit actually has kind of a quick sleeve connector, which I'm not actually going to need. I'm just going to remove that, and just going to set that up to the side. So this will actually install directly into my my unit. So that's what I'm going to do next. So to do this, basically I need to remove the two screws on either side of the unit in order for this unit to slip out. So now, having removed the 4 screws, 2 on either side, this just slides out very, very easily. And with this older unit, the actual tuner and the CD player are separate. So I'm going to just disconnect this connection here, and but I'm actually going to leave this as it is. I'm going to leave it in place when I put in the new one. So you just have to get the latch disengaged, and that's going to come right out. And we're just going to set that off to the side. And we're going to take our new unit, and basically that'll slide right into the slot that we were just in. Go, good. So it's just going to feed right in, and essentially we're just going to put those four screws right back in. It's going to be right where there's a nice new shiny Kenwood unit, and it's going to hold it right in place. So I've already put in the first 2, here the second 2. What I recommend is the sequence that you put them in. You put the one that's more in the front, actually centers it and actually locates it as far as where it is front to back, because you basically want these to line up so that the trim all matches when you reinstall it. This back hole, it's a slot, so it gives you some flexibility. So when you put in the front one, it's actually going to center the it's going to situate your radio at the right spot, right along the trim line. Okay, so basically I've reattached the 2 screws on either side, and my new Kenwood radio is nicely in this fixture that we're going to put back in the car. What I've also done is I've basically taped this cable to the CD player that we're not going to use. That's the bottom one. It's just going to be here for decorative, so there's not a hole in the car dash. It's just going to be deactivated basically, and this is the cable. So the cables that are going to be used are this is for the antenna. Stay tuned on what this is exactly. I think this is for the microphone that does the Bluetooth phone activation. And then basically I've got the new harness that's going to plug into this receptacle here, and then so the black is going to plug into the radio here, and then this white is going to plug into the harness in the car. So we're going back out to the car now. Alright, so we're back in the car. We've got our radio all installed in this harness here. So what we're going to be doing is just doing some initial connections. I did figure out that this is for the microphone for the Bluetooth, so it's just a matter of connecting that. This is probably not something that's going to be on every radio, but this is the Kenwood that I have, so this microphone will be mounted a little bit later on. But anyway, so it goes into that connection there. We'll be careful to feed that through the connections as we get this into the car. So then it's a matter of connecting this transitional harness that we created. That's going to go right into the it's going to go into the back of the radio here. So, and now this is going to hook up to the main factory so we'll make some of these connections now. So the main factory connection will happen here. we go. And then we'll also, well, we got power. So I'm going to hook back up the antenna. Feeds right in there. And then we'll connect to the ground again. Make sure that's back on. So now the whole unit can go back in. So we'll feed this unit right back in. And it's a nice snug fit, and you can see power is already on. And alright, so essentially what we need to do is reattach those 4 bolts. 4 bolts, 2 on each side. Screws. Phillips head screws. So those go back in on each side, 4 of them. Okay, so we're into reassembly mode now. Now that we've got the radio back in with the 2 screws on either side, we're going to reinstall this decorative trim piece that holds the cigarette compartment and lighter. So we're just going to reattach these 3 connectors. Now, I'll be sure to attach, remember that, yeah, sorry, that's my phone. I remember this yellow wire goes down the center part of the cigarette, and this one with the foam is kind of slightly, you know, one with additional connector. That one goes on the outside, so just remember to not get those 2 mixed up. And then we're just going to slide this back into place. And you know, just carefully line up all the clips. There's remember 2 on the top and 2 on either side. We're just going to allow that to all just gently slip back into place. It all just there's no actually screws, just like you remember from the previous part. So we're going to put the cigarette receptacle back in, and now we're just going to reassemble these other parts. So this console that goes around the gear shift can fit back in, and again it just snugs down, and then we're ready to put the actual other piece that goes down over the parking brake. So now let's see here. Yeah, so now we're gonna put the part over the parking brake. So this part here, what we want to do is just maneuver it around the parking brake. It's actually going to hold down this part here. It's actually going to be a pressure point to hold that in place. And then we're going to reinstall these two Phillips screws here, and then put the decorative caps back on. And essentially that should be it. Alright, so there you have it. We got our nice new Kenwood installed. Got Bluetooth, it's got boy, everything, iPod access, HD radio. So I am all set up here now, and we've got everything reassembled, and I hope hopefully this was helpful and informative. So good luck on your install.